First things first, thank you very much for deciding to take that action of booking up the consultation session. And I don't know if I needed a reintroduction or an introduction, but very well. The series is an ongoing series where I'm looking at giving back over 5 years of expertise, knowledge gathered across cryptocurrency trading, blockchain, business building, sales and marketing relating to Web3 also, to enthusiasts who may be having impact or needing areas of clarity, guides to be preferred to them by someone who has delved into one or two nitty-gritty aspects of this industry. Here's the thing. When it comes to airdrop, I have to be honest, I'm not always a fan of airdrops or engaging in airdrops. Why? Because of the broader narrative that falls within the airdrop scope. For airdrops, the thing is that it's most likely trying out various projects and having an uncertainty towards which would actually yield. That is one thing you have to understand when it comes to generally participating in airdrops. So you have to put your mind to defaultly accept reaching out and or engaging in these projects and having a bulk of them flop and a few of them do well. That's like a default understanding you need to have for airdrops first. You get so, but then courtesy of this discussion, I have to also inquire from someone who I know very well engages in the whole airdrop scenario and testnet scenario very, very well. And to the greatest of my surprise, because I wanted to know if there was any secret approach to go over it, any hidden source to go over it. And to the greatest of my surprise, he was, and I'm not meaning somebody who will hold information from me. It's not someone. It's someone who will provide that particular information. To the greatest of my surprise, what he shared was that when you talk about scouting for early testnet airdrops and participating in them, you really have to first understand that the information is, sporadic, is spreading around Twitter. That's the major place where that information goes on. So now, next is how active are you going to be, or what time do you engage in this? Because now, here's the thing, you come across certain of this project, certain of this alphas from people. So you have to understand that them are, or they too are getting it from a source. So if, let's take the chain of information, I get the information today, 10 a.m., and very well, nobody lives on the media. You might now say, I want to provide this information to my audience, maybe 7 p.m. today, or tomorrow, 9 p.m., or something like that. Now, that is another waste of time from that information, leaving that place to the next place, where somebody else will carry it and also push it out to the next leg of people. You understand? So now, to be able to boycott or bypass all of these things, you yourself now have to be avidly invested in following multiple of these airdrop platforms and still researching, making your findings on platforms that push out this information very much earlier than other platforms. So now, sometimes this is something that may be hard. A couple of people now resort to getting access slots, or we call it inner circle slots, to certain persons' cabal to give them early information on things like that. While that may be nice, that's very well happening, and keep aside the fact that yes, it has its own backlashes. Yes, why that happens, undeniably, you on your end can still by yourself, without the help of anybody, you understand, scout for this information if you are willing to give it the time. So it's something that you now have to take an observation, an observatory process to study the platforms that put out this information and the platforms that put out this information early or earlier enough for you to participate, because your issue is having to participate in them late, Abby? Yes. And so that's something that can come off as an additional measure, or a measure that you can take to get you involved and indulge in that. But if I may, sometimes some of these drops that you come across are things that started most likely last year or a while ago. You get so you don't have to beat yourself. You can't wind back the hands of time. You get to partake or participate in those previous versions. But what you can do is have it be that, okay, the current ongoing platforms, projects that you come across, you endeavor to indulge in them at this point in time. You get, but like I would always tell you, or like I said from the onset of the discussion, particularly when it comes to participating in airdrops or testnet airdrops, you're on a 50-50 scale with whatever it is that you're doing. So very well, actually maybe increasing the length of time you give to it, or the length of effort you give to it, but particularly the length of effort. There's no issue with giving that amount of time to your grind. You understand? So most likely the amount of effort to have you be that, you now increase the amount of airdrop testnets you engage in, and have it to be that particular talk of getting it in it, you can solve it by yourself by going through a walkthrough process to fetch platforms that give you or provide this information, and filter out platforms that tend to give this information at a more earlier time. You get, and have it be that, for the ones that you have in front of you at this point in time, you very much engage in them very well. So I don't know, is this something that you can indulge yourself into? Okay. Alright, so at this point, I very well have to be honest, for exactly an inner circle list or click that prefers such availability where you get early access to testnet and airdrops, I can't very well prefer you to a direct spot right now. I'm going to be honest, but very well, the Deevyn Crypto community is one community where we tend to cater for the members of the community by providing them with insightful activities, airdrops, guides, tips as regards various aspects of the crypto industry. And very well, they are also a group of like-minded crypto enthusiasts, of which very well you can indulge with, engage on, and engage with, and most likely if it's something that you're very much serious about, we can also have it be that yes, we push up your efforts alongside other members of the community to by themselves figure out how to find setting up this testnet airdrops or something, but as regards the talk of breaking into someone else's inner circle, that's something I do not have proper keys to give you at this point in time. But very well, if that's something that's on your game, you can very well let me know. I will reach out and very much discuss with a couple of persons that undeniably get to let you know what that would cost. If that's fine with you, you can let me know. But mind you, I don't know, but to the best of my knowledge, things like that tend to cost a couple of bucks. Why? Because the aim and narrative would always be to sell, to you that disclosed private access you get, and for things like that, it tends to attract maybe a little bit of high price. But very well, when I engage in a reach out, pending your response, and if that's something that's open to you, then I would let you know. You're saying that for trading, you are having a hard time understanding the technical analysis aspect, and you would actually want to get clarity on how to go about it. So, if I got you clear, you said you've read a couple of books around crypto trading. But now, here's the truth of the matter. When it comes to technical analysis, when it comes to trading, whether it's fundamental analysis, whether it's airdrop, whether it's testnet, anything indulging or involving in the crypto industry, you cannot do it on the outside. You cannot do it, haphazardly or half-assed and expect to, actually get result from it. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not about reading books, it's not about watching videos or additional guides, but actually, putting one leg in front of the other to do what would actually make you become better at trading, which is actually trading. You get, because for example, you are scared. It's not like you started trading because you are scared. You most likely delved into it a little bit. So, but by the time you indulge in trading and maybe you take 1 loss, 2 losses, 3 losses, you would read that book you want to read and you would understand it first because you want to know why you're taking those losses. Am I honest? Or except you're not interested in it, then you go out of it and you be like, this is not something you want to engage in. Abi? So you're saying that the thread is around, or the ball is around your court to get started. You understand? That's the truth of the matter. But very well, one of the reasons why you may be afraid is because of the lack of knowledge. You get, so you most likely want to seek for knowledge. So if getting knowledge about crypto trading, or actually understanding how to run technical analysis is something that you want to get into, or get a hold of, get an understanding of, then very well, you can now also make it known so that I know exactly what's next to. But very well, first things first, note that you are just scared. It's not like you are actually trading or involved in doors of trading, because the talk of that book, if you have a book on trading and you want to learn about trading, most likely you should have gone through that book. Or maybe books are not your thing, so most likely another medium of learning can be adopted or something. But very well, now let me clearly be direct with you on this. Actually indulging in trading, you cannot deny that place of knowing what you are doing, because very well you're coming into an industry where you don't even understand the nitty-gritty of it first. It's a volatile industry next, and you don't want to jump in exposing yourself up to that risk. That's most likely why you're sitting on the sidelines, Abby. So now we've come to a level playing ground. You get it, come to a level playing ground. So now, technical analysis is literally something that you have to give out the time to learn. You might be scared about it, but you have to give out the time to learn. So now, for me, myself, I most likely learned a couple of ways, from books to courses to videos to educational materials to resources, boot camps, what have you. You get. So, but now, most times, I have to be honest, the self-thought process of learning how to trade is actually overwhelming. You understand? It's actually very, 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 very overwhelming. So most times, to cut it easy for you, some people tend to pay to learn from someone. Some people tend to do it on the side, maybe getting guides, investment, trade calls, and stuff like that from people, or just running long-term investments so that they don't get burnt on the side. So, but then these are like alternative measures, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, if you want to buy yourself, go over to the self-learning process or self-thought process, finding out the need knows for trading. But one truth is, it's a hectic process. I'm just going to be honest. I'm saying it from not from experience. I'm saying it from proper understanding, because that was very well my own pathway too. You get, and now. But then still I still had a couple of persons who, one way or the other, put me through a direct tutorial process, and those were some of the things that also aided in properly understanding, because you're reading a book you don't understand, you are watching a video or a course you don't understand, and we are humans, so let's be honest. Very well, having the one-on-one or human guide in that delivery is something that's undeniably going to be helpful, because it's most likely like, we're having this consultation session, and a couple of things that need to be known as someone who has threaded this path a little bit are unknown to you, that's coming up a little bit or stuff like that. So very well, that's undeniable, but still not shading the process of it being something that you can do. Watch a couple of educated or educational videos on trading, but now, truth be told, the trading is a long-term sport. If you actually want to learn how to trade, it's not something you are catered, you're going to be half-assed for. It's not something that you are not indulged in, and very well, maybe that's why I've not said anything direct. Why? Because I'm still saying that it's something that you are not in for. I really don't know, but if you're going to say you want to actually come into trading and starting out with a couple of books, and that's where you stopped, it's not really a thing. It's not really a thing. You get? So is it really a thing? If it's not really a thing, it's not about forcing. You get? There are people who make money from trading. There are people who make money from airdrops. People who make money from various other aspects and areas of the crypto industry. So if it's not something that you're cut off for, don't have to stress. But the truth of the matter is, it's something that you're cut off for. You can let me know. I'm telling you the truth. It's like a long-term sport. It's a hard-term sport. I oftentimes don't like the idea of telling people about trading most times, because it's like a two-edged sword. Most times on the outside you are seeing persons doing this, putting out PNLs and all of those. So, but the internal support that takes hold before that happens is a lengthy process that many people cannot keep up to. So they just end up starting the journey and not even going about it. I started trading about 5 years ago, and a couple of persons who we started alongside that period of time, they're not really into trading at this point in time. Something you get to, it's something that you have to be sure that you're ready or not. So statistically, it shows that for you to actually be profitable in trading, it takes you about 6 months to 2 years to learn and be profitable in trading. 6 months to 2 years for the average person. So now, are you going to give yourself that conviction that, oh, you can do something for that period of time before it starts to yield? I want to ask that question.
Yes. The reason is this: it's not about learning trading. When you learn trading, to learn trading is not really an issue. You just need the fundamentals, understanding market structure, market trends, and the much of the work as a trader is in finding or refining your knowledge, and that's something that takes a length of time. You can amass the knowledge you need to be a trader in 6 months, but it will now most likely take you time to be able to, craft yourself or your delivery as a trader into concepts and principles that will actually get you profitable. You understand? And in that process, takes a lot of disciplinary measures, finding yourself, emotional, ups and downs, losses, and learning. You get, so it's like a laid down truth when it comes to trading. Like when it comes to trading, it's a very clear truth that you have to define or be with peace at yourself for. You get, so now a couple of things that I may share with you is this. First is for the year 2025, we do well have a webinar that getting started with crypto trading in 2025. It's a 3-day bootcamp where I myself and most likely join with the technical team of community trading experts will be providing the top-down fundamental guide for getting started with trading, walking you through the basic needs of understanding fundamental market language, interpreting charts, trend, structure, getting acquainted with various risk management guides to get you to do this trading thing with less risk, a walkthrough on how you can place, execute trades, interpret trade signals, all for free, coming up on your 28th, 29th, and 30th of this month. So that's something that very well you can engage in on the sideline or as a startup to get you interwoven or to get you involved with trading from a start to finish process, because very well they're going to be ensuring that in that 3-day process period we're trying to cover through. Yes, we can't teach everything about trading in 3 days, but whatever is the need know fundamental things that persons who are in that category that you are in that want to get started with cryptocurrency trading in 2025 will need to put that leg in front of the next one and move. You get, so now that's like on a baseline side or on a baseline aspect. Okay, I understand. So most likely the production should have it, cocktail or something. You don't have to worry.
It's all in the crypto space. I would like to ask you, as someone that has experience in the space, I would like to ask you which area or I would say which area has made you almost profitable, whether trading or airport or which area have you realized the most fun?
Okay. Very well. Questions like this, I don't like them because I don't like to put out that money narrative every time on the outside. So, but then I have to be honest. If you're talking about peak moment, it was during the 2021 bull market, and that came from participating in buying a couple of altcoins, from altcoins to buying a couple of shitcoins. At then, that was like peak moment. But very well, since my inception or my start into trading,
trading has been there for me. Trading has been there for me all through any weather. Why? Because most times it's like I call it my first love. Yeah, I call trading my first love, and most times, how do I call it? It always comes to so very well. I can't cumulate if it's way more than the peak moment, but I'm just if you're going to compare, it's like 5 years of doing this whole crypto trading thing, and for 5 years that has been one of my anchor areas of indulging in. So it means that or having that title alone is enough or sufficient for it to be the foundation of whatever earning process or procedure. But there are a couple of other things and engagements that can one way or the other engage you funds and provide you proceeds. For myself, working with crypto related brands, for myself, a couple of long-term goals, investments, and I don't really do airdrop thing and stuff like that too. But basically, so that's just my own piece on the question. So I don't know if that's answered. Here's the thing: truth of the matter is, when it comes to job or the whole Web3 job process, if you're looking at getting proper Web3 exposure or jobs, you have to first of all be exposed. It's not about filling in multiple recruitment forms or applying for multiple jobs here and there. No, there is like a better process that goes into Web3 jobs. I'm not really trying to bash anybody who's trying to do all of those, but for I myself, previously I've worked a couple of jobs, spoken on a couple of Web3 gigs, and to be honest, I didn't apply for them. You get me? I didn't apply for them. I had worked with BitGet previously on their P2P marketplace, worked with AXS Exchange. I didn't apply for them. There is only one role that I know very well I applied for, and I will share something relating to it afterwards. So, but now, the truth of the matter is this. Those jobs most likely came out of recommendation from persons who saw defined as being valuable, you get? And now, why did that recommendation come? Because this person was sought to be valuable in that industry or in that line of delivery. How then, the question should not be how then do you shine out your value or stand out and have to be that yes, in that world of crypto Web3 jobs, you also have that spotlight. It's basically posing yourself as an authority, as somebody who is the go-to person for that role. And how do you do that? You build yourself, you build your expertise, you show it known to people. Where do you do it? You do it on your social platforms, on your social profiles. So very well, there's like a 5-step process that I personally have for persons who want to actually get the most or get Web3 jobs proper. But basically it's like from start to finish. So let's take it. Step 1 is basically picking a skill. So over here you've made it highlighted community management, community moderating, and next is whilst you are learning, you ought to document your learning process across session in your various profiles. It's the digital age. Yes, it's the digital age. There are platforms, Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit. You document your learning process. Oh, you see people when it comes to maybe things like coding, they do things like 100 days of code. You get that's like a very, very known tradition for coders where they are sharing everything that they are learning for the next 100 days as they are getting into coding. And that way makes it easy for them to attract jobs because most times you are already preferring to the people that may want to hire you some level of your proficiency or your expertise. That's one way. You get because most likely you are starting from scratch, you don't have proof. You most likely do not have proof of work where you can see I have managed this record, here is my CV, I grew this community to here and here. So that's like start place. Oh, I'm learning, but let me be sharing what I'm learning because you don't know. It helps people that need what you need them to, that need what they need to get you as a recruitee or something like that. You're doing that while in the process is building your thought leadership, your authority process in the brand. Then next is over and across that learning period, interactions.
communications with persons, with peers, should be something that's undeniable for you. Then you now want to do a little bit more. You've learned, you've reached out to people. Sorry, you've learned, you've documented your learning process. Next is you commence various ways to actually prove yourself worthy as somebody that now wants to be hired. Remember, you were learning then, documenting your learning process. Now you want to be hired, you are good at what you do. So most likely you can now take your own excerpts from here, which will now be, take a look at everybody who is an A-list person in that community management role. You have one or two people that may be your idolo, your guides, your people you look up to in that space. You may not share them, you don't have to share their names, but I want you to answer what makes them, what makes them look that worthy of attaining or attach that title to them. Right? So you mentioned something, their profile and their presence. If we merge those two things together, you're most likely talking about their personal brand. So most likely it's because those persons have brands. They are known for something. They have an anchor. You know them with this image. You know them with this character. You know them with this knowledge. Why? How? Because they constantly, as you have said or shared, prove worthy of their presence to you and other persons in the industry by sharing their takes, ordeals, strides, and work process, or various any other information that would be helpful to somebody in that category, or not just helpful about somebody in that category, that would prove that you understand what you are doing. Because let's be honest, Elon Musk recently was saying you are the media now. The world is getting digital, so very well. I've hired a couple of people. Except it's a recommendation, and even upon your recommendation, I might demand to go through the profile overview of the person's delivery, not even just resume or CV, because most times people lie on their CV. But very well, if you can now switch and maybe see a place where you are constantly, avidly preferring or establishing your thought leadership, your presence as a thought leader in that industry, it tightens up your chances for getting recruited. So very well, I'm sharing this as something that you should now understand that it's now left up to you. You have a community, you have a brand. You can go and make your research, run personal development, personal branding research on how to build your brand, push out that imagery of yourself too. Then once that is done, the last but not the least is you also reach out. Very well, the talk of building your brand has the benefit of attracting you to leads and clients and persons who want to fuck with what you do. Sorry for that word, but now undeniably, if Muhammad doesn't go to the mountain should go to Muhammad. You know that saying? That same saying where they say you should take a horse to the river and the horse by itself will force. You can't force the horse to drink water, the horse by itself will drink. So now, you've done your own, you've learned the skill, you've documented your process, you've proven your thought leadership, you've engaged with people, you've maybe, networked, engaged with people, you built your brand and presence, and maybe those jobs are not coming. What's next? You take up the responsibility of reaching out to potential platforms, projects, and brands that would want to engage in your service. And you take up the process of finding jobs to now apply for, because you now have a couple of foundations built for yourself to advance or help your research, your applicational process. But very well, that would now have to mean that you have some level of expertise. You get it? But I'm guessing you're saying you already have a community where you're operating, and one thing to start doing would be to mention out strides of the communities to the public from where you are, doing whatever it is that you're doing at this point. You understand? Now, the reason I'm saying that or sharing that is because it helps you. It's like how do I call it? It's like an easy way, because when you're filling out your CV or your resume, a brand will want to see what you've done, where you've delivered your skill, your expertise. So that should be like something that's paramount for you to do. You get it? Having you do that. Oh, if your community are having certain strides, oh, we did this, we did that, we did this, we did that. You're putting out there, you're using it to build your profile, you're leveraging it to build your profile. You get it? But now, okay, so that way you can now match those with your information on your resume, and you have some level of proof of work. Oh, you're able to grow the community, manage community status from 10 members to 20 members in 3 months. You're able to engage in social and so this. That helps, that works. So, but then if you don't have a platform to do it, like a subsequent platform to do it, then you most likely now have to intern, volunteer to serve. You look for brands or platforms that are well to do, that you can tag on. Maybe go on 3 months, 6 months internship, so that you are learning how things are getting done proper, and you have a place to push out the word and refine your skill set also. That will not get you paid, most likely, except you come across a paid internship or an incentive-based internship, but it will build your skill very well, because that was something like I shared with you earlier on, that like the only direct pitch I had made. So I wanted to intern. I was looking at getting better at content marketing, and I had to, after following this process, putting out the word and this, that, I went on to seek for an internship slot with Tech Cloud Africa to provide them content marketing deliveries. And the strides there did what it did, but very well, it's just basically because I wasn't someone who wanted to go into content marketing for my direct need. I only just needed to get better at it for my brand at Deevyn Crypto, and it helped in getting us to about 5,000 transactions through content marketing without any little or no ad spend or paid marketing. This stride alone, coming from that approach of learning, going on internship, and using it to using what you've learned to actually improve thought leadership. If I should share certain things like this, or certain other strides, because there are other strides that were made while I was interning. I was creating content marketing materials that were reaching the audience we want them to reach. We would have content marketing materials that we want to use to discuss with another brand. I would create those contents and put them out. So now I had the issue of not building my personal brand previously. That's why I had that issue. But now I'm trying to share it with you in this aspect, so that you see that if I was doing that, my profile is built. Till tomorrow, I still get hiring jobs on LinkedIn that give me hints. Oh, they're hiring for content marketing areas, but it's not something I'm doing. I don't know whether you're trying to see where I'm going. That people will be looking for jobs. Some other people's jobs will be coming for them. You understand? So very well. I don't know, but I guess this has been clear with you. As regards building out a personal brand or something, that's a journey that I'm currently indulging and engaging in. It's not like I don't have my personal brand. I have my personal brand. You know me as Deevyn Crypto, but very well, I was building in the shadows from the back end, and now I'm looking at building in public and doing the same things I've been doing and pushing the word out to the public and seeing how that exposure can get us a much more better access to opportunities. Okay, so I'm going to indulge and ask you to endeavor in that process. Obviously, at the moment, I don't have any laid down material or projections for personal branding per se. But most likely, if there is, I can very well reach out to you and push that out to you. But at the moment, I don't. But very well, it's something you can do by yourself. Spend a couple of hours researching, watching YouTube videos, Google on how you can build your personal brand, or the need those two. The 2 things you stated for those persons that you call top hierarchy persons, which is their profile and their presence. So you look for mediums. Oh, you have to build out your profile. That's personal branding 101. Build out your profile. Then build out your presence is by displaying out your knowledge to the persons who are going to be members of your audience. So you don't have to worry, you don't have to have followers. You can just push out the word. All these things will take you time, because you are starting them from scratch. You don't start a business today and expect multiple sales tomorrow. It's over time, all of these things will transcend or yield you into something. So I don't know if that was also sufficient enough to provide your response or provide your answer on this.